Christy Creson. She's Mrs. North Carolina, America 2014. And she's joined us tonight at the PageantCast.
Welcome to the PageantCast, your home for beauty pageant news and interviews on the internet.
Hi, I'm Amy Gregorio, Mrs. International 2013, and you're watching PageantCast, the internet's first podcast about beauty pageants. And here is your host, Tim Krenchman.
You're watching the PageantCast, and I'm so excited. I get to speak to Christy Creson. She's Mrs. North Carolina, America 2014, and she's waiting for us on the Skype line. Hello, Christy.
Hey, Tim.
So where am I calling you tonight?
I am in Hickory, North Carolina, and I'm in my dining room.
Okay. Now, when we're recording this is in the middle of the worst winter on record for probably the last 30 years. I had 8 inches of snow just earlier this week, and I have to ask you, how much snow do you guys have? Snow on the ground? Or
we don't anymore,
okay.
But last week we got about 9 inches as well. But it was 70 degrees today, which was crazy.
Oh my goodness. Now, I don't know, in your part of North Carolina, are they prepared for snow? I know that they're not prepared in Atlanta.
No,
Georgia.
We are not prepared here. When it
Okay.
snows, we stay in the house and we go sledding for like the first time in 3 years.
Oh, fantastic. That's great. Well, there's no problem here. We get it plenty every year. Okay. So tell me a little bit about what your pageantants are, or past pageants. Have you been involved in any past pageants, or how'd you get started?
I started when I was 15,
Okay.
so I wasn't, a little child when I started, but I
Mhm.
started because I was in dance, and I wanted to perform on the stage, and my dance teacher was like, you got to do it, you got to perform, it'll give you more opportunities, and I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing, and I was just, like, I felt like an awkward 15-year-old on stage. In my first pageant, I was first runner-up, and it was like our famous local pageant, and the girls around here, it's the Miss Reunion pageant, which local girls from Hickory, North Carolina, that it's kind of a big deal now. So
Okay.
that was my first pageant.
So Mrs. Pageants are very different, and
So I did the teen and I did the Miss America system for
Okay.
a year.
All
And
right.
I did lots of preliminaries, and I did the Little Miss system, and then I did the United States system as well before
Mhm.
I became married with the family. So
Okay, so why did you pick this pageant? Even among Mrs. contestants, there are so many to choose from in North Carolina. What made you
Yes.
compete in this one?
Well, I actually competed in the other system as well.
Mhm.
My eye was always on America, but I'm a college cheerleading coach, and the pageant was always set in October, right in the middle of football season.
Ah.
So it was very difficult for me to do America because I didn't know how to get out of going to a football game on a Saturday to go to a pageant.
Mhm.
So the other pageant was in the summer, so I went and did that one, and I felt like it was, really good experience for me, and it really kind of showed me what the Mrs. Pageants were about. But the whole time everybody kept telling me, you got to do America. I feel like it's a better fit for you. And I was first runner up both years at the other system before getting the opportunity to come to America. And when I finally made that decision to come to America, obviously it was the right place for me.
Now, you can't say coming to America that
Coming
often.
to
And
America.
here, I'm picturing Arsenio Hall and Eddie Murphy coming up behind you.
That's such a good movie, though.
It is a good movie. So
Yeah.
tell me, how do you prepare for a pageant? What do you go through? How do you drill, or what do you do?
Well, the funny thing is, for me, they kind of called me like Miss First Runner Up, because when I did preliminaries and the teen pageant, like everybody was like, "Oh, you won all these pageants." I was like, "No, I was first runner up in a lot of pageants." So I was used to standing in that position, holding some other girl's hand and watching her win. Like, I've done that a lot, let me tell you.
Okay.
So I think preparing is just, obviously swimsuit. You've got to hit the gym, eat healthy, get prepared that way. But for me, interview, I feel like, is what I love to do. I love to talk to people, which I'm sure you'll get to know that about me. And I just really want to make sure that I'm being able to present who I am in such a short period of time to whoever I'm speaking to. So I feel like just kind of talking to different people who've been in the pageant world kind of gives me a good way to prepare for a pageant.
All right. Hey, we're going to have to take a quick break. It moves fast, doesn't it?
Yes.
We're going to have to take a quick break. We'll be back with more with Christy Creson. She's Mrs. North Carolina America 2014. Hold on, Christy.
Now let's take a look at what's going on at Amazon.
Pretty smart lessons from our Miss Americas. This is the actual description from Amazon, and the pages are pretty smart. You'll find insights, wisdom, and stories from 22 former Miss Americas who are not just pretty, but pretty smart, and how they pursued their passions all the way to professional and personal success. With their thoughtful intelligence and insightful eloquence, these women shattered a myth that the pageant is just a beauty contest. Their stories, woven into a tapestry of inspiration and wisdom, prove that it takes vision, discipline, drive, and yes, brains to win the crowd.
Before you purchase something at Amazon, come to PageantCast.com first. Click the link that looks like this, and we get credit for the sale, and you help out the PageantCast. Thank you!
Hi, my name's Michelle Heston, and I'm Iowa Super Miss, and you are watching PageantCast.
I'm Amy Gregorio, Mrs. International 2013, and I'm inviting you to join us in Jacksonville, Florida for the Miss and Miss Teen International 2014 pageants. In Jacksonville, we're only 10 minutes away from the ocean, 2 hours away from Disney, and we have plenty of golf and plenty of shopping. We hope to see you there July 28th through August 2nd.
We're back with the PageantCast, and we have the lovely and talented Christy Creson. She's Mrs. North Carolina America 2014. You know, earlier you said that you had competed in the America pageants, and I almost let it get past me, but I have to ask you, what was your talent back then?
Oh, dance.
Dance? Okay.
Dance.
And
I did
you're
a
in
couple different versions
cheerleading.
of dance. I did, but my best one I did was jazz on point, actually. So that was very interesting.
Jazz on point?
Yes, so I did a jazz dance. So it was very like upbeat,
Okay.
but I would do it all like with a ballet infused technique. It was very interesting. I won a bunch of talents with it, so it was good. But I've danced for 25 years, so.
Fantastic. Now, did you say you're cheerleading now, or?
Yeah, I'm the coach for Lenoir University. I coach the
Okay.
cheerleaders and the dance team.
Oh, wow. Well, that does keep you busy. And I know
Yes.
we got you, believe it or not, everybody, this is actually after one of her practices.
I just taught a dance, actually.
I screwed up with the times, and she looks like this late in the evening. So I was like, wow, amazing. Now, I have to ask you, you have a few items there nearby. Do you have anything for our show and tell?
Yeah, well, I have my beautiful crown.
Okay,
so I'll
let's
show
see
you
that. Ooh, sparkly.
Every pageant girl loves the sparkly crown. So
Now, how heavy is that one? Is it real heavy?
you know what? It's kind of small in nature, which I like, but it is quite heavy. Like I'll have a little indention in my head. All the former queens told me, "Oh, once your head goes numb, that means you can't feel it anymore."
Now, does it stay snug? That's always a question.
Oh yeah,
too.
it does. It's got good little clips in the back, so it stays on your head pretty good. So
That's fantastic. All right, now tell me a little bit about. I hear that you do quite a bit of volunteering, or you talk about volunteering. How does that all work?
you know, I've just kind of always had a heart for serving. I've kind of been like that since I was a small child. I grew up as a Baptist preacher's daughter, and that was just kind of what we learned to do as, you know, when we were little. We just learned to serve others first. And, you know, I really just kind of wanted to express volunteerism, you know, across our country, our state, wherever I was in our own communities, and really get people out there helping people. So, you know, ways that I can do it is as a college cheerleading and dance team coach, I created Volunteer, which my cheerleaders and dancers try to get 100 hours of community service in their year as a cheerleader. And, it's kind of really just teaching these young women and men, to kind of learn the world's a little bit bigger than themselves. And, they get out there, they do various, volunteer opportunities. And one thing we did a couple years ago, we started a volunteer cheerleading opportunity for kids in the community. It's completely free. And it's called the Sparkles, and they're like ages 4 to 10.
Okay.
They're really cute. So we teach them, cheerleading routines, and the little girls actually compete every year at at a national competition, and they love it. But we don't have any charge for it, and it's been a great little ministry that we've started a couple years ago.
Fantastic. Now I heard you mention that you are a PK, a preacher's kid.
Yes.
How did that go over with you being a teenager and in pageants? Was there any friction about that, or was he behind?
Well, my dad always hates swimsuit. He would always leave. He never liked that. But since I danced, my whole life, he kind of, knew that, there's different outlets, I guess, for different things for young women. And he was okay with it. He saw that it also showed me how to be positive and confident, and, really taught me a lot about interview skills and talking to people. And, I think he was okay with it. And I never really did anything that was inappropriate, but he never would stay and watch it either.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I point out so often these days, today, what pageants are, it's hardly even risque anymore compared to where modeling and some of these other things have gone these days. It's really apple pie. Tell me, North Carolina has huge pageant resources. There's a lot of local businesses, there's coaches. Are there any particular publications or websites that you use to keep up with pageants, or just staying plugged in with the local pageant scene? How do you keep up with what's going on with pageants?
Well, I mean, it's kind of, I guess, because it is such a tight-knit community, I kind of know a lot of the girls that are involved in it. And, I still try to help. If a girl needs help, I always just try to, pass the favor down. And, I've been helping another girl get ready for the Miss America preliminary system. So I kind of have the ins and outs of who's still competing in the system, even though, I've been aged out for a long time.
Oh.
But
everybody uses that aged out. It's such I think that's the only thing, pageantry is the only place I've really heard aged out. And I always laugh because it seems like the Miss America system, I hear it a lot. I don't hear it as much in other pageant systems.
Well, I think they're the young, like they age out earlier. I think it's 24. So I think that's why, they're still such young women, but they're still like too old to still compete at Miss America.
So what would you like to tell our viewers about your year of service as Mrs. North Carolina America?
Well, like I said earlier about me being kind of the queen of first runner-up, it was something I always wanted to represent North Carolina. Like that was something that was, something that was in my heart that I really wanted to do. And I kind of put this was kind of going to be my last chance at, that state title. And so I really didn't want to take it lightly. Like I want to get out there and work. Like I don't want to just have a tiara on my head and just call it a day. I really want, to show people that I'm out there, working, whether I'm working in different philanthropies or, I'm judging a pageant. I just want to make sure that I'm doing as much as I can so I don't waste this year that I've wanted for so long. And that's something that I've kind of been really striving to do.
Okay. What type of appearances have you had?
Well, I've gotten to do some like really glamorous things and then unglamorous things, but I think sometimes the unglamorous ones are, more fabulous to me because I always say that being ordinary can be really extraordinary. That's kind of my thing. And my favorite one was I got to do the Toys for Tots on Christmas Eve, and everybody was like, "Why are you giving up your Christmas Eve?" But it was amazing, like to go and serve to these families that could not afford to get their children Christmas presents, and just to see the joy on their face was amazing. And I got to actually ride in the fire truck with the firemen and go out and deliver presents. And it was in a really small town about 30-45 minutes outside of Hickory. And to me, that was probably one of the most amazing experiences I had. I mean, like we had Santa in the fire truck and then me, and we had the like sirens going, and we were going through town and handing out toys. And it probably was the best part about my Christmas this year.
Fantastic. Well, I know I saw Santa. I was following NORAD that night, so I probably knew right about the time he was out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was following him very closely because I needed some new Xbox games. I'm not going to lie. Well, fantastic. Well, we're out of time, so we're getting to the portion of the show where I get to see your best pageant wave. So what we always ask is, I'd like to see your best pageant wave. It is graded. We do watch this very, very closely. So let's see that best pageant wave. You're in a parade and you're waving to the folks on the side of the street.
I was a cheerleader, so I always give a cheerleader wave. So I always give the big wave.
See, and I call that, I have a name for that type of wave. It's called the blurry. Because it moves so quickly. Yeah, it kind of looks like, if you remember the last scene of Total Recall when Arnold Schwarzenegger can't breathe and his face is just whipping back and forth. It's blurry. That's the wave that we're talking about here.
You know what my husband told me to do?
What?
He said that the Queen of England waves like this because her hand is less likely to tire because your wrist can hold up your arm for a long amount of time, and that's why she can do it for hours and hours. He said this is how I need to wave from here on out.
Like that.
Yes.
I think it'd be tiresome to watch.
Yeah,
it's
I
not
don't know,
fun.
something about the human body. I don't know.
See, and part of my theory on the whole pageant wave thing is I always hear about the wrist and all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, try to find 2 pageant participants that wave the same way. It's as unique as a snowflake. All right. Thank you so much for your time today. You were a lovely guest, and we wish you the best of luck and success as you continue onward. When is Nationals?
Mrs. America is August 29th in Tucson, Arizona.
In Tucson, Arizona, where
Yes.
I know for a fact it'll be warmer than it is right here, right now. So
Yes.
wish you a lot of luck and success. Thanks so much. And at the end, we always say Tiara Dreams. So Tiara Dreams, Christy.
PageantCast.